Great answer.
Councilman Hahn.
Thank you, Mr. President. And I'm just going to keep going on that, Lisa. Back in 1978, during the last great blizzard, probably compared to the one we just had, we had over 100 employees at the DPW. We now have what, you're saying 49? And out of those 49, how many people actually, like work in the office, answering the phones? 5, 6,
Correct.
7? So you're talking maybe 40 people that are actually, like in, say, a blizzard like that or a snowstorm. How many people actually are going out driving a truck that moves snow?
Oh, like I said, we had about 49.
So you got maybe 35 people.
Correct.
Now, why don't we ask the mayor for more help, Manny? Why don't we ask for more employees when we know we're short-staffed? Like when these budgets come up every year, why don't you ask her and tell her that we need 10 or 15 more people?
Councilor, Darren Sear, you said that in a couple of meetings we have the mayor, the city councilor committee that was discussing personal issue.
I was there.
She brought this, that she was going to hire 6
Right.
additional people.
I asked that on the committee. So did you guys send your budget to her, asking for 10 or 15 more people?
I asked for, I provided a budget with 6 additional people. And instead of the 6 additional people, I came back with 3.5% cut.
So you asked her for 6 or 7 more people, and she not only didn't give you the 6 people, she also cut your budget another 3.5%. So now, did you call her back and tell her that we can't plow all the snow and clear all these streets and cut all these trees without these employees?
Well, she went in front of you, and she told me.
No, she was there with us, and she heard us. And you all told us we need 10 or 15 more people, but...
Right, so the question is, I have to work with the budget that was presented. And, right now in my tenure, that I'm almost in the process of leaving the department, I think that I was the least person you used to try to force to more people.
I know, I'm not here to leave you. You do a great job, but I'm not here to really, roughly up there.
The DPW is, through the years, has been the bread and butter for all you guys.
Yeah, absolutely. That's why it's so important and it's so essential to all of us and the people of the city that the DPW is fully staffed, because you guys do all the work.
When I started at the DPW, we were 72 people. We're down to 49. And just as I said, it's 12 administrators on the top. Those are not the people that are making the decisions. So the way it is right now, I believe that you should take a look at the whole picture of the DPW, and maybe this is the best opportunity to reorganize DPW to have more people doing the work and less people making the decisions.
Right. But I don't know, I'm just not happy with this budget. I can't see where we can go through this for a whole other year. The same situations happens. I'm out there knocking doors, and I know Councilor Sear is, and like people, they haven't even got their trees cut from 3 years ago from requests that we put in. I mean, that's just not right. It's not right that people should have to wait 3 years to get a sidewalk fixed, and it's not your fault. You guys need probably 40 more people. But we can't just sit here year after year, keep having these conversations and not doing anything about it. So I don't know how we have to go about it, but the mayor came to the meeting, she heard that we needed 10 or 15 more people, and she not only didn't give us 6 people, but she cut the budget 3.5%. I just think it's wrong. This is all the services that we provide for this city right here. DPW, as ward councilors, and council at large, all of us, everybody. And if we don't have the manpower to do it, it's not going to get done. So, I mean, we all have to stick together here, and we got to get the money. She has to add to this budget, and we need to hire people, younger people. You can't have guys 50, 60 years old that are on the end of their tour of duty here, working for the city, going out plowing 30, 40 hours without sleep. It's not right. You need some young people. You can't put all the guys up cutting down the trees, and it's just, it's not right. We keep talking about this every year, but we need to sit here and do something about this tonight.
Thank you. Councilor.
Yes, I agree with everything Councilor Farhan said, and the other councilors, Sear and Pelosi also. And I hate to repeat it, but I will, because, and by the way, Manny, you're very responsive to me. I'm really happy with working with you over the years. Lisa, you're great too. It really is no reflection on you, but there is a lot of frustration by the ward councils, especially on getting things done. I mean, really, if we look at it, there's a little bit of glamour to working with the downtown and trying to bring it back, which I fully support, and I know everyone else here does, and the waterfront. But we're talking about the neighborhoods here. You know, this is where most people live, and I got the same problem. I got trees 2 or 3 years, you know, waiting to get, you know, branches cut down. They can't get out of their yard because there's branches, you know, in the way. You know, right now I got graffiti in a whole block. Is there anybody that can, you know, use the graffiti removal machine? I mean, I know the answer, and I don't want to repeat everything, but I just want to get to one point. I mean, it gets longer and longer, and it gets worse and worse every year. I mean, everybody here agrees with that. And, you know, the snow plowing situation, I know Councilor Trahan, Sarah, everybody, all the councils here, you know, frustrated, you know, with the way it gets done. We shouldn't have to be calling constantly on the phone every day. It's not like there's a small street here or there. It's mostly everywhere. So, I mean, that's what I see. What I would like to know is, because I feel really strongly about this, and I know others do too, is what can we do here? I mean, I know we can't add to the budget, but what if we did want to add some people to DPW? I think the mayor agreed. I was at that meeting, and, you know, and I don't know the answer to why, you know, but maybe there's a good reason. But I would hate to, let it go. I mean, if there is, I don't know what, you know, if the solicitor is here, I don't know what the procedure, or maybe the council president could let us know what would happen here if we didn't pass this budget and made a recommendation to add more money based on DPW commissioner's recommendation, and based on some past conversations with the committee, Public Works Committee, and the mayor. You know, if we could come up with something a little bit better. I mean, it's really frustrating. I mean, what happens now is, to get something done, what people do is they take a picture, post it on the internet, and then everybody and their brother rushes down and takes care of the problem. And it's like nobody here even called, you know? So, I mean, is that what we're going to do? We have to go around with a camera and post everything on the internet to get everything done? I mean, we shouldn't have to do that. We should make a call, and everyone understands that it might take a little bit longer here and there may be people out, but it's ridiculous. We're not talking a day, we're not talking a week, we're talking 3 years. I have the same problem, not exaggerating. So, you know, if there was a time where we could ask and wait and see if we could improve the DPW budget a little bit, I think now is the time. I don't want to wait till next year. I mean, do we want to wait till next year? I don't, you know. So I don't know what the, you know, we really don't have a lot of power here. But, you know, there's got to be some way we can try and, you know, kick this down the road a couple of weeks and see if we can improve this a little bit.
Procedurally, tonight is a committee of the whole. It's not the actual budget hearing. The budget hearing is when it's advertised, which we've already set it down to be advertised, the public comes and speaks. That's when the council would actually have an ability to either accept or reject the budget or cut line items in the budget. As you well know from being on the council for a long time, the city council has no ability to allocate any funds to any particular line item in the budget. That's the purview of the mayor. So the ability that we would have as a council would be to take a vote, make a recommendation to the mayor, communicate with the mayor, and ask the mayor to comply with your request. Councilor Seer.
Thank you, Mr. President. Quick question. It's nice to see someone to get as passionate as I can get sometimes. I appreciate that. It says acting commissioner, and then down a couple of lines, it says acting associate commissioner. Is that the same? Or page 95, and one's funded for 120,000, and the other one's 101. So, I mean, I see assistant commissioner, assistant superintendent, associate commissioner, assistant superintendent, superintendent of cemeteries, and then associate acting commissioner. So I'm just curious.
Is the name,
Pardon?
is the name below?
No, there's no name, it's showing that that's $101,134 has been allocated to that position. And I'm just wondering if it's been filled, or if it's about to be filled, or if we could use that money. I mean, I'm looking at some of the salaries, and we could hire a couple more seasonal people just to go out and do tree. I mean, I'm just throwing this out as a suggestion.
In the past, used to be 3 associates. In the past, used to be 3 associates.
Okay.
Since then, one of them has been eliminated.
Well, we're still putting money in the budget for all these associates.
So when they use the $1,
Hold on, this is $101,000.
That's the acting associate.
It says acting associate commissioner.
acting associate is Lisa.
That's Lisa.
Lisa, oh.
Yes.
So she's not an assistant or associate commissioner, she's
Yes,
the
okay.
acting.
The second
Acting
associate.
means to me she's temporary, is that what it is?
Well, she's acting because she hasn't, the only reason why she was acting is because she was taking my job. And I haven't officially. See, I'm acting DPW commissioner.
Right.
So I was never had a permanent job. So my job as an associate is still there.
So,
Because I already have tenure.
so you're leaving in a couple of weeks.
I'm giving her a
So
couple
that's
of
gonna
weeks.
open up $120,000 in the budget, correct?
No, because that will leave the Commissioner of Public Works job open. See, when I leave,
You're spot, your roll spot.
yes,
Okay, all right, okay.
Council Trahan.
Thank you, Mr. President. I just, I hate to keep beating a dead horse, but I just don't think the people of the city would mind if we raise their taxes a few dollars and give them, the service that they deserve. 3 years to get trees trimmed, 5 days before they get out of their houses to go back to work from a snowstorm. I don't think the people, I just think we all have to stick together on this. I think we all have to put it out there now that we're not going to approve this budget. This budget is underfunded in the DPW. People of the city are not getting the services that they deserve. And it's not their fault. They do a wonderful job. Lisa, Manny, everybody down DPW, they are so responsive to us. They go day and night when it's snowing. There's a windstorm, the trees are down, they're out there all night, and I see them and I'm out there with them. But I mean, it's not fair to them that these guys are killing themselves working 1 million hours a week, and someone's going to get hurt. Someone's going to fall asleep, someone's going to kill someone, or themselves or someone in the city. I just think this is a problem that we need to address right now. It's not something that we can sit and say, oh, wait another year. This is all about because it's an election year. We're going to try to hold the line on the budget, keep people's taxes down. But that's not what this is all about. That's still not helping the people of the city get their services that they deserve. So I just like to, I'm going to go out there right now and say I am not going to support this budget until we hire at least 10 or 15 more young people to come into the DPW that are qualified, that can help us straighten out some of this mess, get caught. I mean, this tree list, we're talking about 3 years. It's not going to get any shorter. They just keep getting behind. You know what I mean? It's going to be 4 years. You get so embarrassed when you knock on someone's door and you put a request in 3 years ago, and you don't even know what to say, It's just it's not that they got lost in the shuffle. It's just there's so many trees, and you got 3 guys doing it full time. You need 6 or 8 guys. So, I mean, I'm not going to support this budget. I'm going to go right out there right now and say that. I think we need a lot more money put in this budget. I don't know where she's going to get it from, but somewhere the money has to be put in there, so.
Council Cahill.
Thank you, Mr. President. First, Manny, to spread around the accolades, thank you for your service. You've been a tremendous asset, and you've been a good friend. You've been very helpful. And all the requests, the 3-year list requests, they call you guys, they call us, and we still can't get it done. So, I mean, we're all kind of in the same boat. But, that being said, good luck in your retirement. I hope you enjoy your retirement. Some folks don't enjoy their retirement. It makes no sense to me, I don't know why. It's very hard, go enjoy yourself, and hope you have a snowplow to your own car. But if you have any problems with that, call your work counselor.
Apply, you know, Manny.
So I guess to all the other council's points, you know, and maybe we should have a lot more of a look at this. So I think there is something we actually can do. Chapter 44, section 33 of the general laws is called Power of Council to Add to Appropriations. Let me just read it for you real quick. In case of the failure of the mayor to transmit to the city council a written recommendation for an appropriation for any purposes not included in the annual budget, which is deemed necessary by the council, after having been so requested by vote thereof, said council, after the expiration of 7 days from such vote, upon its own initiative, may make such appropriation by a vote of at least 2/3 of its members, and shall be in all cases clearly specify the amount to be expended for each particular purpose. But no appropriation may be voted hereunder as to fixed specific salaries of employees under the direction of boards elected by the people other than the city council. So I actually think we do have the power to appropriate under this, under the Mass General laws. Yeah, I mean, and again, this isn't a real meeting, but I think we should look at it. I don't know if it's in conflict with the charter, but I don't know if the general laws would supersede the charter in this matter. But anyways, I would suggest this. If you're gonna do it, we've got to come up with some areas that we're willing to actually come to. So I'm willing to talk with all you guys to see if there's some ways we can save some dough elsewhere. But I think at the end of the day, we can appropriate the additional funds. It takes a pretty bold step by the council. But if that's what I mean, Manny, what do you think? What's the note? You've been here a long time, right? You're walking out the door. It's like you're walking out the door, you can say anything to your old boss, you know? Hopefully it's not like, very. What's the issue? What's your number one? I mean, if you're walking out and you're saying, guys, good luck with the city, I'm out of here. By the way, you want to do this. If I can give you any advice, do this, and you guys will be a lot happier. What is it? What is it?
We have a recommendation by the city councilor to acquire equipment in the amount of $2.7 million. There was a recommendation to the mayor, no equipment was appropriated. This year, you are going to have, this is the last year of your trash and disposal and collection contract. It was a 5-year contract. And right now, the market is that you can make a major improvement if you negotiate a new contract with the trash contract right now. So this is avenue that you can look for with the proper trash collection ordinance. And you, as a revenue that as an avenue that you can look into it to reduce the amount of money that we are spending, almost $5.5 million in trash costs. And that money you can transfer over, the saving from that new negotiation, you can transfer over to hire additional people to work in the street division. So you have to look at the overall picture of the budget. It's not only one single issue. This year you're going to have $2.3 million in the new Chapter 90 funding. That will help you ease some of the sidewalks repairs, the new repairs, that the program, the last 5 or 6 years wasn't there. We were not, and also, I don't know if you know, but in Chapter 90 funding, every time you do a project that is a state project, the money for the design is coming from Chapter 90 fund. I believe it's some condition on some other cities and municipalities that have pursued it, that the state will award the money that is given for the state budget and negotiated to give it to the cities. But that has to be, I believe that the city of Queens did that. And those are avenues that you have, that you can find money within the budget to ease and to make it easy to hire additional people for the Department of Public Works.
So see, that's what I miss about you. I asked you for one. That's what I miss about you. Council Lozey.
Mr. President, I think what we're hearing tonight, that this council is in unison and in agreement that the DPW is severely understaffed, doesn't have the proper equipment, sufficient equipment, and we have to make sure that you have the sufficient funding for the proper tools and equipment to service this city of 90,000 people. Because when we talk amongst ourselves, and you know, and this is, again, like what you've already heard tonight, not criticism of anyone, either you, Lisa, or Manny. You've both done excellent work with the city, you've served the city well, but there's a problem, and we've got to stop beating around the bush. And the buck stops at the mayor's desk, and she's failed to do this. So we need to act, and if there's a way, and I'd like to start off, I think Councilor Cahill mentioned that there's a possible way that we can fund. I think we need to vote, we need to hear from you folks a number more realistic. I don't think we can go with a 2 million plus for equipment, but something, a bare bone minimum number for both equipment and for manpower. And we need the DPW working more effectively for us, for the city of Lynn. And I'd like to hear from, if we could, Mr. President, from legal, whether or not this council could vote for that.
They're conferencing now. Councilor Capano.
Yeah, well, that's what I was going to ask for. I was always under the impression that we could make recommendations
For the charter.
for the child. But I'd like to clear that up before we leave tonight, because, you know, that's a big deal.
Are you versed in the charter versus the state law that was referenced by Councilor Cahill?
You just showed it to me, I haven't had a chance really to review it, but our position has always been by charter that the council can make recommendations, but can't add to the budget. He has now shown me something about an item, a line item does not exist and is deemed necessary by the council, so we'd have to look at that, that's a little different.
Could you render a legal opinion to this council in your office?
Oh, yeah, we will,
Thank you.
we'll look at this, yeah.
Just
Councilor Trahan.
question too, so now would that state rule supersede our city charter?
I have to look at again what our charter says precisely, what the statute says, how the statute is being applied, so.
Yeah, but generally, the state,
That's a fair statement, but again,
it's not charter.
right, but again, we have to look at it, I mean,
So that's something that you can get to us
yeah, oh, absolutely, yeah, I mean,
anytime in the next couple of weeks to do.
Right. Off the top of my head, I'd say though, that we've got, this is involving some line item that's presumably not in the budget that the council deems necessary to be in the budget, so you have to, I think, identify that and then follow that process, but we'll look at it and render an opinion, absolutely.
Councilor Trahan.
Thank you. And now I just want to follow up with Lisa. Now, in the meantime, you've heard, what we think we need. Just be like Santa Claus and make a nice list of what you think you need to run your, department in the proper manner. So during a blizzard, when you get down to DPW and we're looking for help, the councils, we don't want to see the wheel loaders and trucks and plows sitting there because, and it's not your fault, but these guys have been working for 30 hours and they're exhausted and they're inside catching a nap. We need to be able to get those trucks back out there so that the streets don't fall in the kind of condition that they did in this past year. We have enough equipment right now in the city, and I know because I've done it my whole life, to have plowed that storm, because we started early, but we didn't have the manpower. So it's not DPW's problem, and it's not our equipment problem. Of course, you can always use new equipment, it's the best, I know, but it was manpower. We all know it, And that's what needs to be addressed here. We can work on equipment next year, but we need people to drive the equipment right now. So right now, just make a nice wish list. Let's all of us work together, go to the mayor, and just leave it. If people get, if you gotta raise people's taxes a few dollars, but if the streets are getting plowed, they go to work. I don't think we're gonna have a problem with it. So I just think we need to all stick together with this and try to win this war. So.
Any other questions? I do have one question, if I can, from the chair, if the council would so indulge me. Manny, is there a shortfall in this year's budget that you're going to be coming in front of the council before the end of the fiscal year asking for a transfer?
So that's what I said, Mr. President. In the next 2 weeks, I will be retiring from the position. So if there is anything foreseeable future, I don't have I don't know what it's going to happen. You can have hurricane, you can have, there's many different issues that are coming in front of the DPW.
And I understand that, and I
Yes.
appreciate it. Maybe it's more a question.
We just,
It's my understanding, maybe you can play. I've heard that there is a $600,000 shortfall in this year's budget that the council will be asked to allocate additional funds within the next couple of weeks. Is
Yep.
that accurate?
that's correct, that was for sanitation, that was a transfer done from the finance committee last Tuesday night.
Okay, that was the one that's, do we know where that came, where that was missed in the budget? And is that allocated in the following year's budget? This year's budget, excuse me, FY14. That's my last question.
In January this year, I sent an email to the controller and to the treasurer, and I was, in my email, I specified there was going to be a shortfall across 700,000. I talked to Steve Spencer. He told me, no, it's already been allocated in the budget. I said, well, I just go on projection numbers, and this is my numbers. At the end, just a few weeks ago, he just responded that instead of my projection of 700,000 was going to be 615,000. So, and that's just way back in January that I told him. Now, we have a budget, we have a 5-year contract with escalating costs every year in the sanitation. So the only thing that happened that failed was to incorporate the increases for the following year, and that's what happened. You got 2 parts of the contract. One is a disposal contract, the trash that is going to Wheelabrator, and the collection contract, that is the trash that is collected at the curb by Waste Management. And so I was right in my first assessment by close to $700,000.
Okay, Councilor Seer.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Manny, isn't it correct that the way that contract is written, that at any time we could pick another trash company to go to and to try to work some of that shortfall out? I mean, we've had 4 years to do this on a 5-year contract. Coming to the end of that 5-year comes 1 more year. But we haven't done anything. We haven't gone out and talked to other companies. But the council did try to sit down with them over a year ago and discuss the trash issue. We were told there were questions we couldn't ask because she was in the middle of negotiation with the trash company. Now we're being told that there's, and that was my question in the beginning, that there is going to be a shortfall. And both of you shook your head, no. $600,000, that's a lot of money. And we're also trying to hold up this budget because we want to increase the budget for you so you can hire more people and buy more equipment. I mean, I gotta tell you, it's really disheartening. It's upsetting. And the city of representing taxpayers and for the services that they're receiving. And I know it is not your fault of the people who work there, but it's extremely disappointing.
Any other questions? Thank you. I appreciate your candid. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Library, Paul, I apologize if I knew that this was going to be that long. I would have taken you first. Please accept my apologies.
Page 83.
My name is Paula Doyle, I was in the library. Our budget was tweaked a little bit from what we presented to the mayor. We deducted $1,000 from our overtime and $3,000 from our carryovers.
Are you happy with the budget, Paul?
I can live with it, but more is better. We can live with it. Any questions?
Any questions? Councilor Cahill.
Thank you very much. I would just like to, if you could pass along to Teresa that I had a wonderful tour, and I suggest all the councils go do a nice tour of the library because they give you gotta ask for the secret tour.
Special tour.
The stacks with the glass floors, glass floors, and then they have these secret rooms. They have all kinds of cool stuff that probably should be preserved. We're working with the museum now, so I'd just like to say it's one of the coolest buildings in the city of Lynn. Everyone should go check it out. Thank you. Nice job.
Councilor Lozey.
Mr. President, I noticed there have been improvements in the library. Could you briefly give us an overview of some of the good things that have been going on there?
One of the things that's currently taking place is the electrical is being updated. The electrical panels that exist in the basement are the original ones, and as we increase our computer usage, which is one of the most important things in the library, is computers. People come in searching for jobs, apartments, emails, whatever. We're afraid that eventually we won't have enough power, enough electrical juice, so to say. So what they're doing right now is adding additional panels that will allow us to eventually add more outlets. It's a big project, it's time consuming, but it's going to ultimately benefit everyone. Thank you. Anything else?
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Have a good evening, everyone.
Thank you. Last one we'll do them both together. Treasurer Controller, Mr. Fortucci. Very briefly.
Page 6 and page 8.
Both these budgets, compared to what you've been listening to for the past hour and a half, are relatively small. Treasurer's budget has basically stayed the same for several years as far as the expenses. And that will be the same going forward. We'll make do with what we have. There are some slight contractual increases in pay in both departments. And I think there's one small personnel cut in controllers. It was an unfilled position that I think they just utilize from time to time for a temporary work. Pretty boring departments. If you have any questions.
Councilor Truman.
Thank you, President. One question. If we had to cut all the budgets in the city, all the departments, to get the money to fund 10 or 15 new employees down DPW, could we do it? And be able to keep everybody, or we have to raise people's taxes a few dollars?
Are you speaking from my budget only or in the big picture?
Just like the big picture of everybody's budget. Is there that much fat in the budget, do you think, on every department to cut, to hire 10 or 15 new employees without problems in the budget, or would we have to add to the budget?
The uncertain number right now, Councilor Trotman, is our state aid. The state hasn't figured out their own budget yet. We're dealing with 3 estimates, one from the governor, one from the House, one from the Senate. And everything we've done, our budget is in order. Obviously, it's not perfect, we've just listened to what went on. But we are very dependent upon the state for that aid, which it's not gone up in years as far as the local aid. The schools have gone up. It's difficult to answer that question at this
So
point in
they are
time.
pretty close to the House, the Governor, and the Senate.
I have no idea. You know,
So
we've
you
not
don't have
heard
much
anything.
to receive the money.
We get the emails just like everybody else from the Department of Revenue. Every community in the state gets it that way, and we're always like little kids when we see that email show up. We want to see what's happened to the numbers. And at this point, the numbers just haven't moved at all. In fact, the state and the Senate are really proposing reductions in local aid. So
So I was just going to say, if anything's going to be reduction, the number's going to stay the same, so we're not going to plan on money from them to.
again, we don't know. You know, they're working off of the premise that they had a shortfall themselves, and then more recently there's an article that collections or revenues have been better than anticipated, but it's really what we're all waiting on, unfortunately.
But most of these departments are pretty much bare bones, right? We couldn't scrape too much more out of them. We're having them to come back to us to finance later on. And
Yeah, I can't say
so they
overall,
the
but
bottom line
certainly
is the mayor's going to have to add some money to DPW to hire employees.
it's
Bottom line.
a lot of skinny budgets out there, I'll say that, Counselor. You know, it'd be difficult to get it from other budgets.
Thank you.
Any additional questions? Council Kate.
Mr. Fortucci, don't we ask for transfers mid-year, end of year, sometimes for bills from the previous year? I mean, isn't there some flexibility here in how we fund a lot of things in our budget?
Well, the transfers come from the reserve, so we budget that $1 million in our annual budget for that reason, for the unforeseen.
What do you think our free cash combined with any excess overlay and what other funds we have? What's the city looking at?
We just look at free cash. I can't speak for overlay. I
Just
think
free
there
cash.
may be between $3 to $5 million in there. We need a more accurate figure from Mr. Karen. Right now, we're sitting on $5.9 million in free cash. Of course, that number, as I hope everyone's aware, goes away on June 30. We don't have access to it until the state has recertified the number, added the results from 2013 into that.
Any projections that are going to raise that? Who's going to be added?
It's difficult to say at this point. You know, it's a series of compilations that we have to give to the Department of Revenue. Very similar process to what the school goes through to determine whether the city has met their net school spending requirement or not. So it's in their hands. We give them the information and they make that determination.
Just one more question. Could you please put together a spreadsheet of what the impact would be per employee, per contractual agreements for DPW, should they come in at whatever the low level is for workers, and see what the impact would be for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, so we have a little bit of a chart to see what that would be. Please.
These are additional employees for DPW.
Yeah, for 20.
About if we start at 10.
The biggest check you want.
Start out. You know it's going to go down.
Well,
Thank you.
And I just want to ask one more question. So now, you just said June 30th, we can touch the free cash until June 30th, is that what you said?
Correct.
So
We have
we can take from that right now.
We have access to that now.
So if the mayor wanted tomorrow, if she hears all this and wants to increase the employees of the DPW, she could take money out of the free cash and put it in this budget.
No,
She can't do
no, that, because that's an expenditure for next year. If you wanted her to
that.
put,
For the fall, right, so she has to, but starting July 1.
she can't do that now. Okay, and we're not gonna know that number, just so you know, just sometime mid-fall is what it is. Yeah, but if she appropriated that today to this budget, it gets closed out and is still stuck with the calculation that will ultimately go to the Department of Revenue. So that scenario will not work.
Question? Thank you.
Councilor Net.
Thank you, Mr. President. I've spoken for a while. Good to see you again.
I see.
Over here, I see that we have 2 head clerks. So why do we need 2 head clerks?
Are we talking my budget?
Yes. Is that the right?
In my budget, Councilor Net, I could use another 2 head clerks in addition to what you see there. My office once had 7 clerks working in there. We are down to 4.
Really, okay.
And we're hitting with additional compliance issues every year regarding payroll, benefits reporting to the federal government. We're grossly understaffed. I have my staff, and they're wonderful ladies. They actually will put in extra hours and not ask for extra pay.
Okay, that's great. That's what I wanted. So you need more than two, basically.
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay.
Thank you. Any other questions?
Motion to adjourn?
All those in